This episode is brought to you by Rise of Kingdoms. This free-to-play, mobile, massively multiplayer, online, real-time strategy game has 11 civilizations, real historical characters, buildings, and military units. Some of the civilizations include China, Korea, Japan, Rome, Germany, Spain, Britain, and Ottoman. I have chosen the mighty Roman Empire in this case, with its special Glory of the Empire power-up. Look what I can do here on this single giant map. You can see world views, individual cities, barbarians, and NPCs are all fighting on one map, no loading screens. Unlike other strategy games that make you go back to the home base before heading to another battle, in Rise of Kingdoms you can change directions and send different troops to anywhere you want at any time, with no restrictions at all. I can send troops to fight barbarians. I can send troops to explore the other side of a mountain, and I can change my direction of a unit while they are marching into battle. Join me in Rise of Kingdoms by clicking the link in the description below. Let's build our alliance and destroy our enemies. It's going to be fun. Now, back to the episode. Heinrich Severloh, the Beast of Omaha. Stories from D-Day. Born in Metzingen, Germany, to a farming family in 1923, Heinrich Severloh was conscripted into the Wehrmacht at the age of 19 in 1942. According to his memoir, he was first stationed in Hanover with the 19th Light Artillery Division before being transferred to France in August 1942. There, he served with the 321st Artillery Regiment as a dispatch rider before being sent to the Eastern Front in December. In December 1942, Severloh was reprimanded for making dissenting remarks and punished so severely that he spent 6 months in the hospital. He was sent home to his family farm before being recalled to military service once more. Severloh was sent to Brunswick, Germany in October 1943 for non-commissioned officer training, but was stationed with the 352nd Infantry Division after less than a month there. Severloh then went to Normandy, where he was stationed with 29 others in a German stronghold at Omaha Beach as Allied forces approached on June 6, 1944. He was in Widerstandsnest 62, or Resistance Nest 62, under the command of Lieutenant Bernhard Frerking, which was armed with artillery guns, rocket launchers, and machine guns. 0500 hours. The fog had faded away, and Severloh could see the assembled mass of enemy ships on the horizon. Then he heard a drone of bombers. Everyone in WN-62 jumped into a dugout or bunker as bombs rained down. However, they had missed their target, instead hitting the areas behind the strong points. Then, after a short pause, the ships now opened fire, bombarding the shore. According to Severloh, thick, bright gray chalk dust filled the air. Smoke and the dirt flying around blackened the sky, interspersed with flashing bolts of lightning. It seemed as if the whole world would disappear in the roaring, howling, and crashing inferno of exploding shells. Some of the men in WN-62 were only slightly wounded, but none were killed. As Severloh looked up and returned to his MG-42 machine gun, he saw 48 landing craft getting closer to the beach. According to Severloh, he and his fellow German troops received orders from Lieutenant Bernhard Frerking to fire when the enemy was knee-deep in the water and still unable to run quickly. As the American soldiers waded in the water, the order was given, and all at once the mortars, machine guns, and field guns opened fire, causing panic among the first enemy wave. Many sought cover behind the tank obstacles. Severloh opened fire with the MG-42 machine gun at the American troops. He was fed ammunition by a soldier he didn't know. He recalled one of his shots as it struck an American soldier in the head. First, the steel helmet fell off. Then his chin fell on his chest. Severloh watched as the water sprayed up where the machine gun bursts had landed, and when the small fountains came closer to the GIs, they threw themselves down. Very soon, the first bodies were drifting in the waves of the rising tide. He aimed slightly beyond the dark shapes that were the corpses of GIs as more men drifted in the tide behind them. In a short time, the Americans down there had been taken down. Severloh claimed he fired his machine gun for 9 straight hours, firing around 12,000 rounds. He only took breaks to reload or to let the weapon cool down. While reloading, 1 or 2 Americans would take the opportunity to move closer, only to be shot down by one of the other gunners in the bunker. As his MG-42 cooled down, Severloh fired a rifle instead. After his regular ammo ran out, he used rounds intended for anti-aircraft fire where every fifth round was a tracer round. This led to his detection by the USS Frankfurt, and he was fired upon. He took cover just in time before the shells could hit him, although shrapnel had hit his face. His gun was damaged and finally rendered useless. Its hot barrel had even caused a small grass fire. The shells were now causing havoc on their position, and some US soldiers were getting closer to his position. It was time to get out of there. Frerking shook Severloh's hand and ordered him to retreat. Severloh and his fellow Germans retreated from the bunker, and they all took cover from the American gunfire. Only himself and another German soldier, Kurt Warnecke, made it. When Warnecke got to Severloh, he told him Frerking had been shot in the head. Together, they reached the nearby village of Cauville-sur-Mer, where their battalion HQ was, and Severloh received medical care. The Germans, including Severloh, surrendered to American troops on June 7, 1944. Severloh was sent to Boston, Massachusetts as a prisoner of war before being sent to England in 1946, where he worked as a forced laborer until March 1947. Severloh then returned to Germany to his family's farm. In 1960, Severloh contacted American veteran chaplain David Silva, who had been shot 3 times at Omaha Beach. The men met several times, and their story is featured in a documentary by Alexander Chogala about their unusual friendship, Path of Forgiveness, A Long Way Back to Omaha Beach. Severloh's memoir, WN-62, A German Soldier's Memories of the Defense of Omaha Beach, Normandy, June 6, 1944, was published in the year 2000. Severloh claimed that he took out more than 1,000 men, most likely more than 2,000. There is no way to substantiate Severloh's assertions, and many historians doubt their validity. The total U.S. casualties at Omaha Beach were between 1,900 and 3,000. Heinrich Severloh became known as the Beast of Omaha, but this was only given to him by the post-war media. Severloh was actually deeply haunted by his actions, but noted that he had a duty to Lieutenant Frerking. For Severloh's claims to be accurate, he would have been responsible for most of the casualties at Omaha Beach. Historians don't doubt his significance in the event, nor do they question the effectiveness of the machine guns on Omaha Beach, but no exact totals for one lone gunner can be known. Severloh would die in Lockendorf, Germany in 2006 at the age of 82.